Anda sedang mendengarkan UT Radio, Open Education Station for All.
Duh, udah mana mau ujian, belajar gak ngerti-ngerti lagi. Pusing. Wah, apa nih? Tutorial radio. Cek kali aja ada materi yang aku ngerti ada di sini juga nih. www.utradio.ut.ac.id.
Buat kamu yang masih suka bingung sama materi karena belajar mandiri, tenang. Sekarang ada tutorial radio yang bisa bantu kamu belajar. Di website UT Radio, kamu bisa dengerin materi saat live streaming. Untuk jadwal live streamingnya, kalau kamu masih so FKIP, pantengin ya setiap hari Senin. Selasa ada FEB. Rabu diisi sama FISIP. Kamis giliran FST. Dan Jumat khusus sekolah pasca sarjana. Nah, buat kamu
Station for all. Halo listeners, apa kabarnya? Kembali lagi dengan saya Marisha Riana, pastinya di tutorial radio. Apa kabarnya hari ini? Semoga semangat selalu ya. Seperti biasa di tutorial radio, teman-teman dapat menyaksikan diskusi yang menarik pastinya yang dapat disaksikan melalui 3 kanal. Yang pertama melalui www.utradio.ut.ac.id, yang kedua bisa melalui YouTube channel kita Universitas Terbuka, dan yang terakhir bisa melalui UT TV. Silahkan berikan pertanyaan teman-teman melalui live chat di YouTube channel kita Universitas Terbuka atau direct message di Instagram boleh juga di @radio.ut, dan bisa juga melalui WhatsApp di 0812 10392726. Nah, teman-teman, hari ini kita akan membahas topik tentang teman-teman yang berada di Fakultas Sains dan Teknologi khususnya ya. Dari mata kuliah Ekologi Hewan. Pembahasan topiknya yaitu tentang Invasive Animal Species. Nah, hari ini saya akan membahas topik dengan profesor dari Czech University of Science Prague, Faculty of Agrobiology, Food and Natural Resources, Department of Zoology and Fisheries, yaitu Profesor Jiří Patoka, Ph.D. DIS. Hello, Professor.
Hello.
We met again. So today we will discuss about invasive animal species. Nah, I would like to ask you a question, Professor. Could you begin by explaining how biological invasion among animal species are identified?
Okay, so invasive animal species are the non-native species which have some negative consequences, negative impacts on native biota and the whole ecosystem, and also there are some socio-economic negative losses. And just the minor part of non-native species are really invasive, but this minor part can cause huge losses not only in Indonesia but globally.
Okay. Why is taxonomy or systematic so critical in distinguish invasive species from native or cryptic species?
Yeah, so the keystone is correct identification of the species, because in many cases the species which are introduced by humans are scientifically undescribed or are scientifically described but traded under some trade or common names only, and people do not care about the correct identification, and there are some confusions. One species can be traded under several names, or plenty of species can be traded under the same name.
Okay.
And some of them are invasive, some of them are just non-native, and some of them are native. And who will identify the species? We need to disseminate the words about the importance to do it, because invaders are very risky for the environment, but native species not. Simple.
How often do taxonomic misidentification lead to underestimating the threat of invasive species?
Yeah, so it is hard to answer how often, but it exists.
It exists.
Because there are some species with a little bit confused identification or determination without some modern method like DNA analysis. And just the morphological analysis is not enough in some cases, or it requires some experts in the specific animal group or animal species, and it is not easy for some laypersons or some traders and so on to identify the species correctly. So the use of researchers, of some experts, and of some modern methods like DNA analysis are more than welcome to improve the situation.
Can you provide an example of invasive animal species whose impact was overlooked due to taxonomic confusion?
Okay, so yeah, we can say that in case of Indonesia, we have some invasive crayfish here, but some people think that the crayfish are native due to confusions about the identification, because there are colorful and nice native crayfish species from Papua in Indonesia, but also non-native species from Australia and North America. But some people do not care about this and think that all crayfish are from Papua. So therefore they do not afraid to spread the non-native crayfish invasive species to other localities.
Okay, so crayfish, yeah. Which major animal groups, arthropods, mollusk, fish, or amphibi are most frequently involved in freshwater invasion?
When we will count the number of species, I guess that fish are the most rich in this regard here in Indonesia, but also some others like mollusks, like decapod crustaceans and insects can be observed, and also plants. But the impact is not the same as the number of species, because in case of the crayfish, as I told before, it's a lobster aertavar.
Yeah.
So the North American crayfish is a vector of one non-native pathogen which caused the disease crayfish plague. And even if it is the only one species of crayfish currently in Indonesia, the expected impact can be very dramatic. So the number of species is not enough to imagine the invasion potential of some animal groups.
Okay. Maybe life history traits or adaptation make some of this group particularly successful invaders.
Yeah.
What life history that make?
So it is about biology, about reproduction, about ecological relationships and so on of each species. Once we would like to evaluate the invasion potential of some species, we need to compare all aspects and life requirements of it. I mean, in case of some animals which are able to reproduce parthenogenetically, for example, I mean without the males, just the female can lay unfertilized eggs, and new females will develop from these eggs. So this mode of reproduction is so risky, because just one animal, just one individual, one female is enough for establishment of new population, in comparison with species which needs both males and females, their invasion potential is lower in comparison with parthenogenetic species. Therefore, we need to evaluate the biology and life requirements as comprehensively.
How do invasive animals typically interact with a native species in terms of competition, predation, or hybridization?
Yeah, so once the species is sorted and classified as invader, we can be sure that the impact on native biota is negative. So the native biota would like to protect themselves against invaders, and in many cases the native biota wins, and the species is not invasive but will disappear. But once it is invasive, so the impact is out competition of native species, and also transmission of diseases or parasites on native species. And in terms of hybridization, it is also known in some species when the invader can hybridize the native one, and the unique population of the native species is lost. So there are species to species some specific negative impacts.
Okay. In South Asia, including Indonesia, Professor, there are any animal invasions that involve species originally classified as ornamental or aquaculture taxa. But please explain a bit for me what is aquaculture taxa?
Yeah, so taxa, the meaning is more than one species. So one species is taxon, and two and more are taxa. And so these are species which are produced for human consumption or as ornamental animals in aquaculture.
We will continue this discussion, but we'll take a break a bit. So don't go anywhere, tetap di UT Radio, Open Education Station for All.
Untuk menghadapi era revolusi industri generasi keempat, UT terus berinovasi demi memantapkan jati dirinya sebagai cyber university. Berbagai upaya terus dilakukan dengan memanfaatkan kemajuan teknologi komunikasi dan informasi atau TIK dalam menghadapi era disrupsi. Era disrupsi telah menginisiasi lahirnya cara-cara yang lebih inovatif dan disruptif di dunia pendidikan. Hal ini akan mendorong terjadinya digitalisasi sistem pendidikan. Menyikapi hal tersebut, UT telah melakukan berbagai perubahan yang bersifat inovatif, mulai dari kegiatan registrasi, pengembangan bahan ajar, pelaksanaan tutorial, hingga ujian akhir semester yang dilaksanakan secara online. Dalam sistem registrasi, UT telah mengembangkan sistem registrasi online atau SRO melalui beragam devices seperti komputer ataupun smartphone. Dalam pengembangan bahan ajar, UT telah mengembangkan bahan ajar digital berbentuk PDF dan EPUB yang dapat diakses melalui digital library UT. Sedangkan dalam tutorial, UT sudah lama mengembangkan tutorial online atau tuton yang dirancang dalam Learning Management System atau LMS secara asinkronus. Seiring dengan perkembangan teknologi web, UT mengembangkan tutorial online synchronous dengan mengintegrasikan aktivitas tuet, e-lecturing, dan video conference atau VCon pada aktivitas tutorial online. Untuk pelaksanaan ujian akhir semester, sudah lama UT menyelenggarakan sistem ujian online. Pelaksanaan ujian online sampai dengan tahun 2017 hanya diselenggarakan di kantor UPBJJ UT dengan memanfaatkan jaringan internet dan komputer yang terstandar. Namun, pada tahun 2018, UT sudah mengembangkan dan menguji cobakan ujian online yang dilengkapi dengan fasilitas online proctoring. Sistem baru ini memungkinkan mahasiswa dapat mengikuti ujian secara online dimanapun mahasiswa berada tanpa perlu kehadiran seorang pengawas. Selain itu, UT juga menyediakan sumber belajar terbuka atau lebih dikenal dengan istilah Open Educational Resources atau OER. Oleh UT, istilah OER tersebut diberi nama Suaka UT yang merupakan singkatan dari Sumber Pembelajaran Terbuka Universitas Terbuka. Suaka UT ini dapat diakses bukan hanya untuk mahasiswa, tapi juga masyarakat umum secara gratis. Cakupan materi yang ada dalam Suaka UT antara lain UT TV yang berbasis YouTube, UT Radio yang ditransmisikan melalui internet, materi pengayaan berbasis online atau MPBO, perpustakaan digital, guru pintar online atau GPO, yakni merupakan portal untuk para guru di seluruh pelosok Indonesia agar mereka dapat mengakses sumber belajar dengan cepat, mudah, dan relatif murah. UT juga menyediakan konten dalam Suaka UT yang dapat dimanfaatkan oleh masyarakat tanpa dipungut biaya, yaitu Massive Open Online Courses atau MOOCs. UT juga telah membangun layanan bantuan belajar yang dapat dimanfaatkan oleh mahasiswa, yaitu berupa Dry Lab dan e-seminar. Dry Lab merupakan layanan bagi mahasiswa untuk melakukan kegiatan praktik atau praktikum yang dilakukan secara virtual dengan simulasi melalui komputer. Sedangkan e-seminar merupakan layanan yang diperuntukkan bagi mahasiswa saat mahasiswa tersebut mengikuti mata kuliah yang mewajibkan mahasiswa mempresentasikan hasil penelitiannya. Dalam mendukung layanan kepada mahasiswa atau calon mahasiswa, UT telah menyediakan beberapa fasilitas, yaitu pertama, Halo UT atau Online Customer Center, yaitu layanan pendukung untuk membantu mahasiswa memperoleh informasi tentang UT yang dapat dihubungi melalui berbagai media komunikasi. Kedua, digital marketing dengan memanfaatkan media sosial UT. Dalam mendukung pembelajaran e-learning kepada mahasiswa, fasilitas yang disediakan UT adalah wifi.id, yaitu layanan jaringan internet untuk publik berbasis wireless atau hotspot yang disediakan oleh Telkom yang dapat dimanfaatkan oleh mahasiswa UT untuk mengakses internet. Microsoft Office 365, yaitu layanan UT online yang dapat dimanfaatkan oleh mahasiswa guna meningkatkan kapasitas email, berbagi hasil presentasi, serta konferensi via web. Sentra Layanan UT atau disingkat SALUT. Sentra ini merupakan perpanjangan tangan UPBJJ yang berada di kota atau kabupaten strategis untuk memberikan dukungan layanan bagi mahasiswa, calon mahasiswa, atau anggota masyarakat terkait dengan informasi ke-UT-an, kegiatan pembelajaran, dan kegiatan pendidikan lainnya. Untuk menjaga standar mutu, UT juga telah mendapat pengakuan dari dalam dan luar negeri, yaitu oleh International Organization for Standardization atau ISO, Badan Akreditasi Nasional atau BAN-PT, dan International Council for Distance Education atau ICDE yang berpusat di Oslo, Norwegia.
We know that Universitas Terbuka share this commitment, providing world-class, accessible, higher education
Station for all. Kembali lagi dengan saya Marisha Riana di Tutorial Radio, dan masih ada Profesor Jiří di sini yang membahas tentang topik kita Invasive Animal Species. Nah, teman-teman silahkan berikan pertanyaannya, boleh loh melalui direct message Instagram di @radio.ut ataupun live chat saat ini juga di YouTube channel kita Universitas Terbuka. Bisa juga WhatsApp di 0812 1039 2726. Saya akan melanjutkan perbincangan kita hari ini, diskusi kita hari ini dengan Profesor Jiří. Professor, I want to ask you about how is molecular taxonomy or DNA barcoding helping in identifying invasive species more accurately?
Yes, because some species are very similar on the first side with use of morphological analysis. And DNA barcoding is very helpful to us to be precise in the determination. Moreover, one modern method which is called environmental DNA analysis is very beneficial because it is possible to get some samples of water from the wild to analyze the occurrence of some species there in the locality. So we don't need to catch the animal. We need just to analyze the DNA from the water to say it is there. So this is the benefit, and it is not time consuming, it is cheap, and it can be done by many field workers. It is easy to take the samples. So I assume that in the future this method will be widely used in monitoring of wildlife.
Okay. So what challenges exist in maintaining up-to-date classification system when dealing with fast-spreading invasive taxa?
So maybe the risk of hybridization which exists, so this can be a negative consequence of spreading of invaders because the unique DNA information from some restricted endemic populations or endemic taxa can be lost due to hybridization. And to be honest, in many species our knowledge about their origin, about their taxonomy, systematic position and so on is very limited. So there are gaps in our knowledge which have to be filled out later or in near future, hopefully.
Okay, near future, hopefully. Are there global database or network where students can research, can report, or validate taxonomic records of invasive animals? Is that available? What are they?
Yeah, so there are some databases which are free to use and can be used for this purpose. On the other hand, some information in these databases are not valid and have to be confirmed later, and some risk of misinterpretation and confusions and misidentification of species exist. So these data have to be used with attention, and the confirmation of DNA sequence which is harvested from the database is needed. So there are some sources of the information like scientific publications and so on, and the identification have to be confirmed in these sources.
Oh, okay. And I want to ask the last question. If you could leave one important message for students or animals taxonomy and systematic regarding invasive species, what would that be?
Do your best to stop the aquarium dumping because many animals are released by owners from the aquaria and also from some outdoor ponds. So try to explain to people why not to do it, why there are the risks, and what are the negative consequences which can be expected.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Jiří, to come to UT for a second time, and thank you for your explanation. I hope our discussion will be useful for our student in UT Radio. Thank you so much. Terima kasih kepada teman-teman yang telah menyimak tayangan hari ini. Saya Marisha Riana pamit undur suara. Sampai bertemu lagi di lain kesempatan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. UT Radio, Open Education Station for All. Bye.